You. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway you make, every cross, every ball, every dunk, every pit stop, every loss, every victory, every single sport. We will be watching you.
Studio is live, mics are up.
Inside the locker room.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Locker Room 981. It's on Smooth 98.1 with Valentine
And Ayo Mairo Ese. Good morning, everyone.
and Tega the Supreme, Tega Tigress. Good morning.
Tega scratching her eyes. Good morning. Good morning, Lagos.
Good morning to the man, the shiny domed one, Uncle Brutalistics. Good morning.
His,
Morning, all.
his
Morning,
head
all.
is my
Morning, all.
crystal ball. I can see.
Good to see into the future. Let's predict matches, shall we? Now, join in the conversation inside of the locker room this Friday morning. Send messages to WhatsApp 0809-444-0981, 0809-444-0981. Also use Twitter.
At Smooth981 FM is our handle. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, so please join in the fun, join in the action online.
Yes, our first story is about Nigerian Football Federation. They've confirmed the return of Salisu Yusuf to the national team following a year-long suspension for his involvement in a bribery incident. Last year, Salisu was found guilty of collecting an amount of money reported to be around $1,000 and was sanctioned by the NFF Ethics Committee with a fine of $5,000 and a one-year ban from football-related activities. In the words of the FAA statement, they said the Nigerian Football Federation has noted that the chief coach of the Super Eagles, Salisu Yusuf, has now fully served the one-year suspension clamped on him last year. The Federation thanked coach Imama Amabakobo for his sterling efforts while in charge of the under-23 national team in the absence of the suspended Yusuf, and for eventually seeing the team's qualification for the under-23 AFCON.
Tricky one. Very tricky. So, this is one of those, what they call that Ghanaian boy again? No, Anas. This one of those people that they came to attempt to bribe. Anyway, or a video came out of. Yes, remember that time the video came out.
Yes.
So the NFF Ethics Committee banned him for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
FIFA gave Sia life ban for about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
NFF committee banned him for 1 year.
year.
And then they came to announce to us that the ex-con is back. What is that what you're telling me? That's what you're announcing now. You don't need to endorse it. You don't need to,
God bless you, Tega, because I was about to ask you, so what's the purpose of this announcement?
because maybe they want to give him an appointment, and before any controversy comes out, they want to clear up that he served this 1 year ban. You don't need to do that. Somebody behaved badly, somebody did something wrong. Even if he has served his term, let him sit out a while. Okay, so you mean that in the 1 year he has repented, or in the 1 year all the damages have gone, especially considering that there's still all these probes going around, with the Belgian Football Federation. Now that's the latest one that they're facing, and they've caught 3 people involved in match fixing and all other things. Is that your own big statement after the international break is to make an announcement that one of the people that you've suspended has served this 1 year ban? So thank you, Mr. Amapapo, for holding his place down. They have not said that they are going to remove him, or they have not said they're going to replace him, or they have not said they're going to give him his job back. But the fact that you're making an announcement that somebody has come back from suspension, from bribery, for me, is a wrong endorsement.
Reputation management.
Quiet. They're not his PR manager now.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, I mean, my dome has just been ringing. The shiny dome. The statement referred to him as the chief coach, That in itself is just like, I mean, it looks like he already has his job.
Yeah, we've made a few calls and they said there's nothing concrete. So
yeah, but even if it's a soggy concrete, it's kind of about to set. It looks like something is about to set.
Just a matter
So
of time.
it's just a thought. Although I mean, I've heard somewhere else that there's been a flat denial of this whole thing. But us being Nigerians, where there's a rumor and there's a denial, the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere.
And I'm still going back to the truth being somewhere in that statement where he's already been referred to as the chief coach. It looks like he already has a job. So
but they've confirmed that he served his 1 year ban, which means that they're saying that he's available to be appointed. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's not forever.
I thought he was actually suspended from his role, not removed.
He's suspended.
I mean, if memory serves me correctly, the word was suspended. So we're good.
So
he's back
after
now.
suspension, you come back, you resume.
So you see that concrete is not.
No, he was
set.
suspended from all footballing activities. Like he was not supposed to watch match. I mean, we can't
confirm whether he.
What did you take away his
All right.
TV or something?
I was thinking about that, ruminating and trying to figure out if it's concrete or still setting. Let's go on to athletics. Semenya will not collect 2011 World Champ gold. So Olympic 800 meters champion Caster Semenya will be officially awarded her gold medal from the 2011 World Athletics Championships at this year's edition in Doha, but will not be there to receive it. Semenya was elevated to the gold medal position 2 years ago when Russian athlete Maria Savinova, who sped past her on the final straight, was later disqualified for doping violations. Now, ASA President Alex Kojana said in a media statement, "Congratulations to our athletes for their achievements and for being honored as clean athletes." What a shade. We are happy that the IAAF now offers a chance to the rightful winners, a podium celebration in front of a capacity stadium, which the cheats denied them at the original competition.
Yeah, I would say this for them. So the two athletes two South African athletes, I think one was upgraded to silver, Caster upgraded to gold, which also proves that she doesn't always win races. But she's not going to be at the World Championships because of this testosterone level saga that they're doing. But I can imagine if I were the South African, sports minister collecting the medal for them. I'll just get there. I'll be like, ironic, you think? I'm collecting my medal for my athletes that you claim has advantage from a cheat that you people caught. Isn't it ironic, my brother? I must make a snide remark. But it would have been lovely to see Caster just go to Doha just to pick up that medal and look them in the eye and say, this is my gold from 2011. I could have won in 2019, but you guys are just hating on me. Unfortunately, there's no need to waste air ticket just to be petty. So,
this man is going to waste their ticket to be petty. This one.
No, but he'll be going with other athletes to the World Championship.
No, I'm saying that ordinarily, the way his statement came
yeah,
across,
you can tell that you see, people are claiming my athlete can run, and she's not cheating. No, meanwhile, now you have to give her a medal because she did not cheat. So it's a strange one. I remember when I saw the news I realized how interesting it is, how it's twisted. You're saying an athlete cannot compete, not because she cheated, but because she was born a certain way. Born a crime, written by another South African.
Trevor.
Amazing. But and now you have to give her a medal. Oh, if I'm South Africa, I'll fly Caster for this. Just for this. I'll just be like, be as petty as you want. But they are not me. So let them save their money and do other things with it. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see that the cheats have been stripped of their medal. And if you ask me, I don't give second chances. If you cheat like this, life ban. If you dope, life ban. That's what I would be doing if I were in IAAF.
All right. Now, Kosi calls asks a very interesting question. How true is this thing I hear about Caster Semenya in a football team?
Where did you see her?
I mean, I've heard that news somewhere that she's contemplating a career change, which I mean, look, shouldn't be a problem. She's categorized as a female. She's a female. I'm not doing this whole she's categorized, please, for the sake of national peace. I don't want to be accused of what was that offense, that Brazilian, that slanderous. No, she's a female. She's a female. She can play football. I'm not aware that there are any restrictions to her ability to join a football team if she has any footballing skill sets and she's good enough to make a female football team. So be it. How is that a problem?
The girl wants to run, I beg. Push her
Yeah, she can run on the pitch.
It's not enough.
A lot.
It's not enough.
With
It's not enough.
stamina.
It's not enough.
Make her tennis comeback at the age of 36 with a return to the WTA Tour in 2020. The Belgian, who first retired in 2007 to start a family, says she's been inspired by other mothers such as Serena Williams and Victoria Azarenka. And she said, mothers are trying to compete at the highest level. That is the inspiration. I do not really feel like I want to prove something. I think for me it's a challenge. My goal right now is to be able to be fit enough to compete at the highest level. And then if you get to that stage, let's see if I can get to the second stage of a Grand Slam. I will continue to push myself each goal I set. Clijsters is targeting a return in January, but says she will remain flexible in her scheduling.
Of course, she has to remain flexible. She has 3 children. And they are not. It's not like they are three self.
Doesn't that somewhat already guarantee flexibility?
No. That's what I'm saying. She has to be flexible. That's what I mean. And there are 3 young children. They are not going to hear that it's every time we are traveling up and down. It's not like they are Roger Federer's children that were born into it. You know, these children came and they saw their mommy every morning, wake up, do this thing, and not telling them that we are going to be going around the world. No, it's a tougher task, especially for them. And she's the mother. You know, with Roger Federer, he can just America. We signed up for this. You know, we agreed to this. But with women, it can be a little different. The thing is, with the way the WTA is, I think Clijsters can come and make a run for another Grand Slam. Yeah. It's just 7 matches, literally, to win a Grand Slam. So I think she can make another run and win it. I remember the first time she came back, she had retired, had her baby. Her baby was now 2 and walking. Then she came back and said, I don't want to retire again. I want to play small tennis. She now came back in 2009. And in fact, in the year she came back, she won the US Open. Wow. That year. Yes. Won 2 more US Opens and then retired again in 2012. So when she comes and says, let me see if I can make the second round, don't trust her. If you're on court with her, don't look at her and say she's been away for 7 years, so she may be a little rusty. Don't try it because she will beat you senseless. If I were a young girl facing Kim Clijsters on the other side of the net, I will play her with all my might, my soul, my body, my spirit, because that woman, you never know. And even when she has a poker face and she doesn't look like she can move very well because she's not your average muscular built woman. Yeah. She just looks just slightly overweight, a little clumsy. All that one is deceitful. The girl moves very fast on court and she's very talented. She will beat you. So now that she's saying she wants to come back, trust me, before she made this announcement that she wants to come back, she has been training for at least 18 months to get in form. So that's how she is. You just don't know, but she has been training for 18 months. So please, ladies, if you see her on court in Australian Open, trust me, she's not an easy game.
I quickly went to.
And if you feel you can dare her,
try it. because when she retired, it was because she had a lot of injuries, coming one after the other, and then she went on to start a family. She was supposed to start a family with Leighton Hewitt. Can you remember when we all had love signs in our eyes that this love story? Yes, so I did do. Okay, this love story was going to happen. Then they broke up, and then she married somebody else, and. You know, with all the injuries coming, then she took that break. I was like, oh, such a talented woman retiring early. It was not true. She came back and won 3 Grand Slams. That's it. So, ladies, don't give her any chance.
Kim is in the building.
2020 will be hot.
For real. Let's go through some of your messages this morning. George from Aja says, good morning, Salisu Yusuf. What is going on in that glass house? At the end of the day, we are who we are in Nigeria, laughing in Dothraki. Yeah. Ken says, good morning. It just looks like NFF is rewarding Salisu for agreeing to serve his suspension. How does this deter others from doing the exact same thing? Good question. Kosi Cole says, how true is this thing I heard? Okay, we've answered this earlier. I encourage you to send your messages through WhatsApp 0809 444 981. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more.
98.1. September is here.
Don't
and
mind
if you
them.
have children.
September is almost over.
That I think that story leaked
Yeah.
at first.
What's the?
Story leaked about
Yeah.
no, not about
one?
Salisu Yusuf.
Salisu,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
they had to react.
and they had to react.
Oh, yeah.
The story leaked that he might be making a comeback. Then they
Damage
had to
control.
react.
Yeah, because someone sent us a tweet that it's false news. That they just heard it. It's fake news. Just heard it in sports. So.
Story leaked.
Oil.
Hmm?
Just 1 line.
Well, open it again. Let me see. Me too. I'm trying. Just open.
Why are you looking at Sharapova?
I checked out Kim Clijsters and then it led me to Sharapova. So I wanted to I have a mental image of her because I remember when she was playing actively. So I wanted to see when you were describing her physical features.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what she looked like.
She's
So
not
from
the slimmest girl.
she's not actually. She
Right.
actually looks like, but
She looks like she's had 3 children.
yeah, she does, and I
So-
love it.
That's
Babe,
all I
you see how
can
she
say.
threatens me in the studio. This is how she treats me. Every day. Just so you know.
That's how he should be treated every day.
And Val,
Yes.
she's the man.
Write it.
Who is the one that is
Sorry.
bullying who?
You see who is bullying who now, really.
Imagine, write it.
At least people know who is who. in
You
this
see the way
interview.
your hand was pointing to
Yeah.
her. She's the man.
Jesus.
No, but when I say she's the man, you know when you're saying
Yes,
that she's
now.
the.
She's
I'm
the
not
one,
saying that she.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
That's it.
Let me see. Let me not see how you now writing.
Akum in her mind now. Her small mind.
Yeah.
She'll not be feeling like the man.
You understand? The man in
Oh,
this
don't get it
relationship.
twisted. She's the man. No, but I don't want her to be politically correct. You know, I say, are you saying that she's a man? I don't know.
No,
They
she's
should
the
go
man.
and
Every
she's
people
the
that don't
man. They
understand
go
should not
fall in
understand.
Okay.
We can't
I would
be
say don't get it twisted. Just
Can't be-
Okay, she's the man.
can't be walking on eggshells for people
No,
with
she's
no
the man.
sense
Then
of
do.
humor.
What's
Sorry.
it called?
We are unapologetically who we are.
Of course, it's Tega.
That's how we
Yeah,
roll.
that's
So all this happened. Hey, foreign bodies, we can't even gossip. Oh, you people. This gossip is not for your ear. This is family gossip.
understand.
I give it to the native, to the public later. You tell people, how are you? I did not come here this morning. I did not sleep long enough. It's a hard life. I didn't sleep very long. Maybe I will get some sleep tonight. That's a lie. I wouldn't. I'm going to go to church. Then after church, I'm going to come back
How
here
was
tomorrow.
service
Then show.
yesterday?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Who ministered in songs?
Hallelujah challenge. Hallelujah. Hey. Oh, Nathaniel Blue. Yeah, sometimes I have to go to church, because it's good for me. If I don't go to church, can you imagine how I would be?
I don't know.
Do you understand? So think of me. This is me going to church all the time, listening to morning devotionals all the time. Imagine me without church.
Disaster.
Don't tell those people on WhatsApp. This is between me and YouTube people. Don't tell WhatsApp people, eh? We're back.
Oh, no,
Nah,
no.
so. My gosh.
Don't tell anybody. So yeah, church. TD Jakes was around. It was good. I like praise and worship.
You do, yeah.
I do. And then I saw a lot of fine boys. I think a lot of fine boys sat in my area. It's like they knew I was single, so they were
So
zoning.
did you?
We're zoning in.
The conversation is not if you were sitting around them or what you did with that.
What am I using them to do? Am I eating fine boy?
Thank
beg.
you, but I really see so.
What am I using them to do? They are just eye candy. I'm not using them to do. I'm not using them to do anything. Can they pay for my Abu Dhabi trip? Ticket is 500,000.
You people have been
For
like, though, if you
F1
are trying
tickets.
to all of you that will be saying shining teeth for Tega and be
Oh
say,
no,
"Hey, Tega,
it's
Tega."
compulsory. So in November I travel for F1. In February I travel for February.
F2.
Sometimes it's March.
Nice
I
one.
travel for
like that
tennis.
struggle producer.
Do you understand? So I travel for tennis in Dubai.
Mhm.
I travel for F1 in Abu Dhabi, and then from
It's true. You have to marry a rich man.
you, I can't. You understand what
You
I'm
have
saying?
to make
And these are
money
things
yourself.
I do by myself. So if you come and join me, you know they say one shall chase 1,000 and two shall chase 10,000. If you come and join me, I should be going for about 5 F1 races. You understand? Since by myself I'm going for only one. You understand these things that we're doing? Just between
We're
us,
all saying
between
the
us.
same
Don't tell
thing.
WhatsApp people.
Yes.
Between us.
Unfortunately, they are the ones that then go on what's up and go and comment.
Don't talk, oh. Nobody's watching us today, so it's fine. I think nobody's watching us.
No, they are watching it.
Nobody's watching.
Capitalistics.
That's it.
Do you hear?
What did I say? What happened?
Plausible deniability.
Brutalistic knows the kind of people I want, like the network of people that he's working in the nets.
Yeah,
The
she,
net
the
in
network.
here.
she told me she told me to say that I know the kind of people that she wants.
He knows the kind of people I want. He's just fronting. He knows the people.
Yes.
High net worth individuals. You understand? HNIs. That's what I do.
Yes.
I
They have
don't-
nets. They have nets.
Come on. I don't do all that thing. I'm not faking any humility. 2019.
Alalua says, yes, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. All right, guys, we're back. Studio live. Max, up to the silence, please. Thank you, Johnny Drill. You're welcome back. And you're listening to Smooth 98.1. You love music, love life radio station. Now we're talking sports with Tega the Tiger. Good morning. And Brutalistics. Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning this morning.
All right. Thank you, Brutalistics.
Honestly, guys, if you're not watching us on YouTube, you're missing a real
Hey.
treat.
Alalua can
You're just a sellout.
I am watching you.
Tega is, I don't know if I should behaving. Let's go on to some boxing. Tyson Fury trainer Ben Davison. By the way, if you'd like to follow us on YouTube, search for Smooth 98.1 on YouTube, and then of course WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. Thank you, Temidire Balogun. Tyson Fury trainer Ben Davison defends Rob McCracken over concussion criticism. So Fury's trainer Ben Davison has joined the fighters and pundits in defending Rob McCracken against criticism he put Anthony Joshua's life at risk during his defeat by Andy Ruiz Jr. Now, brain injury charity Headway says it is shocking that trainer McCracken said he knew Joshua was concussed during his loss to Ruiz in June. McCracken has said it was not the term he meant to use. Davison said, I don't think the people who have criticized Rob have any knowledge or experience of boxing. When a fighter goes down, I would imagine that as some form of concussive effect every time. If Rob is to get pulled up and blamed or criticized, then I need criticizing too, because Tyson got knocked down against Deontay Wilder in round 9 and 12 and allowed it to carry on. So if he's getting criticized, I need it as well.
Okay, so this is one of those things that people question about boxing generally. Then let's not even talk about UFC. But what it is so Anthony Joshua's trainer came and said that when Anthony Joshua was knocked down the first time, then when he stood up and got to the corner, he asked, "What round are we in?" So first of all, the fact that he didn't even know what was going on, you would immediately jump in and say, "Oh, that fight should have been stopped," and that's what normal people would say. But boxing people would think differently. That this happens all the time. You know, I know a retired boxer, I think it was Parker, who said he was knocked down and he did not realize what round or where he was. But he carried on in the fight. And while that may seem exciting to them, it's not something they should excitingly tell this world or the rest of the world that is already looking into boxing as too dangerous a sport. Do you understand? And their medical research and all to prove this thing. To make it worse, the boxers and the fighters are now telling you that even they did not know where they were after they were hit. So it's one of those don't ask, don't tell kind of things. But I think he spoke a little bit much in his need to defend that Joshua's loss. He he gave a bit too much information. And if you ask me, before the fighters came into the ring, they knew that there were all these risks. I mean, they'd seen Muhammad Ali, so they knew there were all these risks. But so for someone like me that started watching boxing when I was 8,
Wow.
I don't. I'm not really averse. That I'm trying to be careful. That's why I'm stammering. You know, I'm not a stammerer. I may not be as averse to it as someone that just started watching boxing.
Yes.
You know, recently, and with a lot of medical research, I'm a bit hesitant to defend the action of letting him go on if he didn't even know what was going on. But
do you think
but
he
it's
really
boxing.
doesn't know?
No, he really didn't know. He really didn't know.
I was going to ask, if Anthony Joshua won this match, would we be having
Exactly, because I'm sure when he was knocked by Vladimir Klitschko, he probably also didn't know where he was until like a few minutes later, and then he won that fight.
And that is look. So I've taken up the sport. I'm learning a little bit of
Also,
boxing and all of that stuff.
you're saying it very madly. Brutalistics is a professional boxer, just so you know. So before you come at me, you should also know that Uncle Bro is around.
And look, as much as there's a lot of effort that's undertaken to teach boxers to protect themselves at all times and all of that stuff. There's an inevitability that it is a contact sport. You will be hit. That is the whole purpose of the sport. Hit. And I was just yesterday I was watching a fight between is it Rob Mercer and Tim Witherspoon. These are heavyweight boxers that stood in the middle of the ring for close to 8 rounds. These guys weren't moving about. They were just proper hitting each other.
Boxing.
No, look, old boxing is what is
has led us here.
and those shots hurt. If you go down the path that Headway is going, literally every time a fighter is knocked down, you will end the fight, because in that instance, sometimes depending on the ferocity of that punch, they lose
Coordination,
perspective, coordination, and awareness of what's going on. And if you do that, then boxing as a sport will die.
True.
Maybe boxing as a sport should die.
No.
Let's start with UFC first.
Nah.
Let's start with UFC. Is look,
It's brutal.
You see, I watch like I said, I've been watching boxing since I was 8. Maybe I'm used to the evil. UFC is a totally different kind of devil. UFC is horrible.
Yeah.
So when I see people say that some of these Habib and the rest are behaving a little funny, I said, do you see how they get kicked in the head? Trust me, they have to behave funny multiple times.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go talk about this. I'll actually read your stories on WhatsApp. Fumi Morgan says, I wonder why Nigeria will get it right when it comes to truly punishing corruption. Not the show. Ojo says, good morning, guys. We are who we are. Imagine going to... Why?
Yeah, I'm talking about Salisu Yusuf.
Imagine going to jail and coming back to be a president. We always do things realizing full well that what the punishments are going to be mild. This is Niger for you. Emeka Onelum says, good morning. I missed you guys yesterday. Just like a state governor was caught on camera collecting a gunja in dollars, Salisu Yusuf was also caught collecting bribe. Next time, you should ask the governor how he did it without getting punished.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Cruz says, is that where the name Brita came from?
Yeah.
Nah, greet like they greet now. It's just greeting.
Better greet and go.
Then says, there are plenty dangerous spots out there. Professional swimming is dangerous as well. So imagine, no, really. Anyways, I have my thoughts on that one. But let's move on to other stories. We have this one from
Valencia should be looking forward to a prestigious doubleheader against Barcelona in La Liga and Chelsea in the Champions League. Instead, find themselves in full-blown crisis after the sacking of coach Marcelino Garcia. Marcelino was fired on yesterday, and replaced 2 days ago, and replaced by the former Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Spain midfielder Albert Salades, who faces a tough baptism at the Camp Nou on Saturday.
Okay, so he's not the only one facing. Valencia is not the only one facing the baptism. It's easy to say that because of the crisis they're having, they have no coach and they're going to play Chelsea UEFA Champions League this week. They're going to face Valencia. It may not have sounded like a good time to fire the coach, even if he did get only 4 points from a possible 9 game. It's okay. However, Barcelona is not going up, and Chelsea are not exactly having the time of their lives either. I mean, think about the Barcelona side that just drew recently and had to struggle to get points. They are also going through their own issues. So it may not be. Both of them are having problems, so it may not be a bad time. And you know how sometimes some teams is when they have problems with their coaches, that's when they will show up in full force. So I would say the baptism of fire goes both ways. And even with Chelsea struggling to get results, sometimes they start like a house on fire and then they fizzle off. Sometimes they come into the game later on. They're also not having a vacation period. So in as much as it looks like it's not good timing because of the big name opposition that Valencia is facing, because of the form those teams are in, it may not be as much damage as would be expected. But this is football. Let's see how Saturday turns out first, and then Tuesday, and Valencia will take it from there. But I think they're good to go.
Thank you, Tega. Thank you, Brutalistics. Find Tega at Tega Supreme on Twitter. You can also check the activities of Ladies in Sport at LIS International. Brutalistics is at Brutalistics on Twitter. Special thanks to Go for his message.
I have to take this message.
Yes,
He says, Brutalistics, a boxer and a lawyer. Dude will beat me up, then win the case in court. So unfair.
Just so you know, statements of fact. All right, guys. Join us next as we have a light-hearted conversation inside of Lagos Talks 981. Stay with us in Smith.
Okay, we're going to have a clock now.